Welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue that is sending emotional shockwaves across Port Charles and setting the stage for one of the most intense custody battles General Hospital has ever explored. The return of Michael Corinthos, once believed to be physically and emotionally out of the game, has not only reignited his presence in the lives of his family, but also stirred up deeply personal questions about fatherhood, trust, and what it truly means to put a child first. At the heart of this emotional storm is young Wiley, now caught between the people who love him and the tension none of them can seem to let go. Michael's sudden appearance at the nurses' ball took everyone by surprise. The gala, usually a night of glamour, performances, and celebration, was rocked when Michael entered the ballroom, his posture strong, his face calm but unreadable. For months, he had been recovering from severe burns suffered in a tragic explosion at Sonny's house. Many had speculated he might never return to public life, let alone jump headfirst back into the custody drama surrounding Wiley and Amelia. But there he was, standing tall, healed, and, more importantly, ready to reassert his role as Wiley's father. Willow and Drew were stunned. Neither had anticipated Michael would attend the event, let alone that he'd walk up to their table and calmly but firmly say, "Wiley's coming home with me." The atmosphere shifted immediately. Drew stood, tense but cautious, aware that the legal battle over custody had not yet been resolved. But technically, Michael still retained parental rights. There was no court order barring him from taking Wiley, and without a finalized ruling, Drew couldn't legally stop him. Willow, caught between shock and concern, whispered something to Wiley, who seemed unsure but followed Michael. The entire room watched in stunned silence as father and son walked out of the nurses' ball, leaving behind a storm of questions and emotions. Back at Carly's house, where Michael had been staying since his return to Port Charles, the initial reunion between father and son was touching. Michael tried to re-establish the connection they once shared. He asked about school, toys, friends, and everything in between. For a little while, things felt warm, even joyful. Wiley laughed at his father's jokes and showed him drawings he'd made. The sound of their laughter filled the house for the first time in what felt like forever. But that joy was short-lived. After an hour or so of reconnecting, Wiley grew quiet. Michael noticed and asked gently, "Everything okay, buddy?" Wiley looked up at his father and said, "I want to go home." Michael's smile faded. "You are home," he said, trying to keep his voice light. Wiley shook his head. "No. I want to go back to Mommy and Drew." The words landed like a punch. Michael's expression hardened, but he didn't immediately react. He pressed on carefully, asking, "Why do you want to be with them?" Wiley, innocent but honest, responded with the brutal clarity only a child can offer, "Because they love me. And they're always there. I feel safe with them. They're good." Michael's composure cracked. He stood up and began pacing the room, frustration building inside him like a storm. After everything he had fought through, the pain, the isolation, the betrayal, his son now wanted to go back to the people who had, in Michael's view, betrayed him. And now Wiley, the very reason Michael endured it all, was choosing someone else. Then came the outburst. In a moment of uncontrolled emotion, Michael raised his voice. He accused Drew of being a manipulator. He called Willow a liar and a traitor. His words were sharp and angry, his tone loud. He wasn't yelling at Wiley, but the 8-year-old boy didn't understand that. To him, his father, who had moments ago been smiling and laughing, was now shouting, red-faced and trembling. Wiley's eyes filled with tears. He began to sob. And when Michael reached out to comfort him, the boy pulled away. That was the moment Michael realized he had crossed a line. Carly walked in a few minutes later, returning home to find her grandson crying and Michael seated on the edge of the couch, staring at the floor. Without a word, she scooped Wiley into her arms and carried him upstairs, whispering gently that everything would be okay. She tucked him into bed, hummed a lullaby, and sat by his side until he fell asleep, his tear-streaked face finally calm. Downstairs, Michael remained in silence. The rage was gone, replaced by a crushing sense of guilt and helplessness. He thought bringing Wiley home would be the start of rebuilding. Instead, it had fractured something even further. Carly returned and sat down beside him. She didn't say much at first. She simply looked at her son, the strong, wounded man who had come so far and now seemed more lost than ever. Michael spoke first. "I scared him." Carly nodded slowly. "You did." "I didn't mean to," he whispered. "I know," she said. For the next hour, Michael poured out everything. His feelings of betrayal, his anger at Drew, his heartbreak over Willow, and now his fear that he was becoming the very thing he'd promised never to be, someone who puts his own pain above his child's needs. He admitted that for the first time since returning, he was unsure. Unsure if fighting for full custody was the right path. Unsure if Wiley even wanted to live with him. Unsure if reclaiming his family meant tearing it apart further. Carly listened patiently, offering few words but deep understanding. "You love him," she finally said. "And that's why this hurts. But maybe it's time to ask what's best for Wiley, not what hurts less for you." Michael sat with those words long after Carly went back upstairs. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat by the window, staring out at the moonlit sky, trying to make peace with the most difficult question he'd ever had to answer. Is it possible that Willow, despite everything, is the better parent for Wiley right now? It's a question with no easy answer. Meanwhile, Willow sat in her own home, pacing the floor, unable to rest after Michael had taken Wiley. Drew assured her that legally, everything would be fine, that they'd talk to Diane and get things settled in court. But Willow wasn't thinking about court. She was thinking about Wiley. About what he must be feeling. About whether Michael would be patient with him. Or push too hard. About how long this tug-of-war could last before it broke them all. She didn't know about the incident yet. About the yelling. About Wiley's tears. But she would soon. And when she does, another decision will loom. Should she fight harder for custody? Or reach out to Michael once more, not as an enemy, but as the father of her son? For now, Port Charles holds its breath. Michael Corinthos has returned. But what kind of father he chooses to be in the days ahead may define his legacy, not only in court, but in the heart of the child he loves most. Next, we will dive deep into the dramatic turmoil unfolding at General Hospital, where Dr. Portia Robinson faces a catastrophic downfall. The leadership structure is shaken to its core, and a familiar face returns to steer the ship through stormy waters. Buckle up, as we explore the intricate web of scandal, betrayal, and unexpected twists that are set to redefine the future of Port Charles's most iconic medical institution. The fall of Dr. Portia Robinson, a career in ruins. In a stunning turn of events, Dr. Portia Robinson finds herself teetering on the edge of professional and personal collapse. Allegations have surfaced that she tampered with critical medical test results belonging to the notorious Heather Weber, a patient whose history with General Hospital is as dark as it is complicated. This isn't merely a breach of ethics, it's a criminal act that could land Portia behind bars. The once respected co-chief of staff, known for her dedication and composure, now faces the grim prospect of losing her prestigious position at the hospital. Sources suggest that the General Hospital Board is poised to take swift and decisive action, with whispers of an imminent termination echoing through the sterile hallways. Beyond the threat of unemployment, Portia's actions have opened the door to severe legal repercussions. Tampering with medical records is not a minor infraction, it's a felony that could result in years of imprisonment. Imagine the weight of such a scandal on Portia's shoulders. A mother and a pillar of the community, now grappling with the shame of potential incarceration. The courtroom drama alone could become a spectacle, with Portia's every decision dissected under the harsh glare of public scrutiny. Will she be able to defend her actions, or is this the end of her storied career in medicine? The residents of Port Charles are buzzing with speculation, and many fear that this scandal could tarnish the hospital's reputation for years to come. Dr. Terry Randolph's uncertain fate, collateral damage? As the dust begins to settle around Portia's misdeeds, her co-chief of staff, Dr. Terry Randolph, finds herself caught in the crossfire. Terry had high hopes of stepping into the solo role of chief of staff following Portia's ouster, envisioning a future where she could lead General Hospital into a new era of transparency and excellence. However, the hospital board has other ideas. In a shocking twist, Terry is summoned to a closed-door meeting where she learns that her own position is in jeopardy. The board suspects that Terry may have been complicit in Portia's actions, or at the very least, turned a blind eye to the unethical behavior unfolding under their joint leadership. The accusation hits Terry like a freight train. She has always prided herself on her integrity and commitment to patient care, and the notion that she could be implicated in such a scandal is nothing short of infuriating. Sources close to Terry reveal that she feels betrayed by both Portia and the board, believing that she's being unfairly scapegoated for something she had no part in. The board, however, seems determined to clean house entirely, unwilling to risk any lingering ties to the corruption that has stained their institution. Could this be the end of Terry's tenure at General Hospital, or will she fight tooth and nail to clear her name and reclaim her rightful place? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the entire staff watches anxiously as Terry's fate hangs in the balance. A new era under Dr. Lisa Labrecht, return of the Iron Fist. Just when it seemed that General Hospital couldn't endure more upheaval, a bombshell announcement rocks the foundation of the hospital. A grand assembly is called, summoning doctors and nurses alike, including fan favorites like Elizabeth Baldwin, Dr. Lucas Jones, and the enigmatic Dr. Isaiah Gannon, to witness the unveiling of the new chief of staff. To everyone's astonishment, Dr. Lisa Labrecht strides back into the hospital corridors with an air of undeniable authority. Her return is nothing short of a thunderclap, sending shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned staff members. Labrecht, a figure known for her uncompromising standards and steely resolve, wastes no time in reasserting her dominance. She famously ran a tight ship during her previous tenure as chief of staff, and it's clear that she hasn't softened one bit during her time away. At the assembly, she delivers a chilling speech, outlining her zero-tolerance policy for any deviation from protocol. There will be no exceptions, no shortcuts, and certainly no scandals under my watch, she declares, her piercing gaze sweeping over the crowd. Staff members like Elizabeth Baldwin brace themselves for what promises to be a grueling new regime, with Labrecht's meticulous oversight likely to clash with the hospital's more free-spirited personalities. The board's decision to reinstate Labrecht is a calculated one. After the lawsuits, ethical breaches, and public relations nightmares that plagued Portia and Terry's leadership, the board believes that Labrecht's iron-fisted approach is the remedy General Hospital desperately needs. Her track record, while controversial, speaks to a time when rules were followed to the letter, and the hospital operated with military precision. But at what cost? Many staff members worry that Labrecht's return will stifle creativity and compassion, replacing them with fear and rigidity. Will her leadership restore order, or will it ignite new conflicts within the already fractured walls of General Hospital? The ripple effects on Port Charles, community, and consequences. The seismic shifts at General Hospital extend far beyond the operating rooms and boardrooms, they reverberate through the entire Port Charles community. Patients and families who once trusted the hospital as a beacon of hope now question its integrity in light of Portia's actions. Local businesses, too, feel the impact, as fewer visitors and staff members patronize nearby cafes and shops amidst the uncertainty. The scandal has even sparked heated debates at community gatherings, with opinions split between those who sympathize with Portia's possible motivations and those who demand accountability for her betrayal of trust. Meanwhile, the personal toll on the hospital staff cannot be overstated. Elizabeth Baldwin, for instance, finds herself juggling her role as head nurse with the emotional strain of working under Labrecht's hawk-like scrutiny. Dr. Lucas Jones, known for his calm demeanor, struggles to adapt to the suffocating new policies that threaten to bog down patient care with endless red tape. Even newer faces like Dr. Isaiah Gannon feel the pressure, as Labrecht's arrival signals a shift toward an environment where one misstep could mean professional ruin. The once tight-knit team at General Hospital is fraying at the edges, and it remains to be seen whether they can unite under such authoritarian rule. What lies ahead for General Hospital? As the saga unfolds, countless questions linger in the minds of fans and characters alike. Will Portia Robinson face the full brunt of the law, or might a last-minute revelation spare her from prison? Can Terry Randolph salvage her reputation and convince the board of her innocence, or is her time at General Hospital truly over? And perhaps most intriguingly, will Dr. Lisa Labrecht's return mark a triumphant revival for the hospital, or will her draconian methods sow the seeds of rebellion among the staff? Next, we will uncover the simmering tension and unexpected sparks flying between two of Port Charles's most unlikely figures, mob boss Sonny Corinthos and Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner. As the nurses' ball sets the stage for drama, intrigue, and surprising connections, we delve into the charged interactions, hidden histories, and potential romantic undercurrents that could redefine relationships in this chaotic town. Join us as we explore every nuance of this captivating storyline and speculate on what the future might hold for these polar opposites. A clash of titans at the nurses' ball, first encounters. The glitz and glamour of the nurses' ball, a cherished event in Port Charles, became the backdrop for an electrifying showdown between Sonny Corinthos, the town's infamous mob kingpin, and Justine Turner, the sharp-witted ADA with a knack for cutting through deception. During the episode aired on Wednesday, May 21st, their paths crossed in a moment that crackled with tension. Justine, attending her very first nurses' ball, couldn't resist taking a jab at Sonny, slyly suggesting that the upcoming town referendum over his controversial peer operations might force him out of Port Charles for good. Her words dripped with challenge, as if daring him to defend his iron grip on the town. Sonny, never one to back down, met her taunt with a steely resolve that has made him a legend. With a smirk that could freeze blood, he assured her that no one, not a referendum, not the law, and certainly not a rookie ADA, could ever run him out of his domain. Witnesses at the event noted the intensity of their exchange, with some gala attendees whispering that Justine's boldness might have caught Sonny's attention in a way few have managed before. Was this merely a clash of egos, or could there be a deeper fascination brewing beneath their mutual disdain? The air at the nurses' ball was thick with unspoken questions as onlookers pondered the significance of this fiery first encounter. A second spark, history and misunderstandings. The intrigue deepened in the following episode on Thursday, May 22nd, as Sonny found himself in a heartfelt conversation with Anna Devane, reminiscing about the origins of the nurses' ball and the poignant legacies of Robin Scorpio Drake and Stone Cates. Their discussion was a rare glimpse into Sonny's softer side, revealing the personal losses and connections that have shaped his life in Port Charles. It was a moment of vulnerability, one that showcased why the nurses' ball holds such profound meaning for both him and Anna, a shared history rooted in love and tragedy. Enter Justine Turner, who couldn't help but interject with a biting comment about how cozy Sonny and Anna appeared together. Her tone was laced with suspicion, as if she saw their bond as evidence of some illicit alliance. Sonny, quick to defend the sanctity of their conversation, put Justine firmly in her place. With a mix of irritation and gravitas, he explained that they were honoring Robin and Stone, two pivotal figures behind the nurses' ball's creation, and suggested she educate herself on their stories. The reprimand was sharp, leaving Justine momentarily speechless, an unusual state for the quick-tongued ADA. But could this moment of correction plant a seed of curiosity in Justine? Might she delve into the history of Robin and Stone, uncovering a side of Sonny that challenges her preconceived notions of him as merely a ruthless criminal? Justine's prejudices, a wall against connection. Justine Turner isn't exactly known for her warm and fuzzy feelings toward key figures in Port Charles, and her disdain extends beyond Sonny to include Anna Devane and Jason Morgan. Her history with Anna is particularly contentious, marked by accusations that Anna misused her position at the PCPD to shield Jason, aka Stone Cold, from prosecution in the case of Cyrus Renault's downfall. Justine's suspicions have created a palpable rift, prompting Anna and Jason to maintain a deliberate distance from one another to avoid further scrutiny. It's no surprise, then, that Justine's opinion of Sonny, a man often entangled with Jason, is equally damning. Yet, there's a complexity to Justine's character that suggests she's not entirely immune to change. Her role as ADA demands a black and white view of justice, but personal encounters often blur those lines in Port Charles. What if her research into Robin and Stone's lives reveals Sonny's deep ties to their story, exposing a layer of loyalty and grief that contradicts her image of him as a heartless mobster? Imagine Justine sitting late at night, poring over old articles and hospital records, her stern facade softening as she reads about the AIDS crisis that claimed Stone and the enduring impact on Sonny. Could this newfound understanding be the first crack in the wall she's built against him, or will her commitment to the law keep any potential warmth at bay? Sonny's singleton status, a heart open to possibility. On the other side of this potential equation is Sonny Corinthos, a man whose romantic life has seen more ups and downs than the Port Charles coastline. Currently unattached, Sonny has recently severed ties with Natalia Ramirez after discovering her deception about being the ex-wife of the dangerous Jen Sidwell.